Tottenham have just discovered that Jean-Philippe Mateta is available for £35 million, and Juventus are pushing hard to hijack this deal. The striker we failed to sign last summer is back on the market, my friend, and there's a real battle brewing here. But that's not all. Throughout this video, I'm going to break down all the details, the tactical fit, and whether this is the right move for Spurs. But first, we need to talk about the Radu Dragusin situation because it's getting tense. Tottenham are now holding firm on a £17.4 million price tag while Roma continue to push, and the Romanian defender has made his intentions crystal clear. So stay with me until the end, pay close attention to everything, and then tell me in the comments what you think about all this movement happening at N17. If you love Tottenham as much as we do, hit that subscribe button and help us on our journey to reach 1,000 subscribers. Let's support the boys together. Look, we're in the middle of the January transfer window, and Tottenham are navigating a complicated moment both on and off the pitch. With all the noise surrounding Thomas Frank's position over the last week, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that this transfer window is absolutely crucial for Spurs. The attacking department is in crisis mode. Richarlison is facing a lengthy spell on the treatment table. Dominic Solanke is still working his way back to full match sharpness after that long-term injury, and Randal Kolo Muani hasn't found his scoring boots yet. Meanwhile, on the defensive side, we're seeing departures with Brennan Johnson already gone to Crystal Palace, and now the club is dealing with another exit situation. Tottenham need to move smart and fast, balancing squad needs with financial reality in this winter market. So let's dive straight into Jean-Philippe Mateta, the 28-year-old Crystal Palace striker who Tottenham have been monitoring since the summer. According to reports from Court Offside, the French international is now genuinely available this month, and here's the thing: Juventus are making a serious push to land him before the window closes. The Bianconeri see Mateta as an ideal option to lead their line, and they're determined to secure him with Champions League qualification on the line. This is the same player Spurs failed to sign last summer, and now the door has reopened. Now, why does this make sense for Tottenham? It's pretty straightforward, my friend. Look at the current situation up front. We're desperately thin. Richarlison injury has exposed just how vulnerable we are in that number 9 position. Solanke is our main man, but he's still building back to full fitness, and we can't rely on him playing every single game without breaking down again. Kolo Muani was brought in, but let's be honest, he hasn't demonstrated that eye for goal we need yet. Ange Postecoglou's system demands a physical, mobile striker who can press, hold up play, and finish chances. Mateta ticks several of those boxes. Let me break down what Mateta brings to the table. This season, he's got 7 goals in the Premier League, which isn't spectacular, but you have to consider he's playing for a Crystal Palace side that creates far fewer chances than Tottenham. His technical profile is interesting. He's 6 feet 4 inches, physically dominant in the air, and he's got that French striker technical ability with the ball at his feet. He's not just a target man, he can link play, bring others into the game, and he's got decent movement in the box. Tactically, here's how I see it fitting into Thomas' system. Frank needs his striker to be mobile, press from the front, and compete physically. Mateta aerial dominance would give us a different dimension, especially from set pieces where we've struggled. He can hold the ball up when we're building attacks, and his physical presence would allow our wide players like Kulusevski to find more space. He's versatile enough to play as a lone striker or partner someone, which gives Thomas tactical flexibility. Now, financially, this is where it gets interesting. Crystal Palace are willing to sell, but they want £35 million for him. Juventus initially offered £1.7 million on loan plus a £24.5 million obligation to buy, conditional on European qualification, but Palace rejected that. They want the full £35 million upfront. Is that good value? Look, in today's market, for a proven Premier League striker who knows the league, £35 million is actually reasonable. He's 28, so you're getting him at his peak, with probably 3 to 4 good years ahead. The cost benefit here is solid if he can deliver 12 to 15 goals a season in our system, which creates more chances than Palace. But let me give you the other side, because not everyone is convinced. Part of the fan base is asking, is Mateta really the profile we should be targeting? Some fans want a younger, more dynamic striker with higher potential. There are questions about whether his goal output is enough for a team with Tottenham ambitions. 7 goals for Palace is one thing, but can he step up to the level we need? And at 28, you're not getting resale value like you would with a 23 or 24-year-old. Plus, with Juventus pushing hard, there's a real risk we could miss out again if we don't act decisively. So now I want to know from you, in your opinion, is it worth it or not to bring Jean-Philippe Mateta to Tottenham? Would you spend £35 million on him? Or do you think we should invest heavily in another name? Maybe someone younger with more upside? Leave your opinion here in the comments, my friend. Now, we need to talk about Radu Dragusin because this situation is getting complicated and it directly impacts our defensive planning for the rest of the season. Radu Dragusin wants out. According to Corriere dello Sport, the 23-year-old Romanian defender has expressed his desire to leave in 17 this month, and AS Roma are at the front of the queue pushing hard to sign him. This has caught some fans by surprise because we only signed him a year ago from Genoa, and now he's already looking for the exit door. Roma boss Gian Piero Gasperini is personally urging the club to prioritize Dragusin's signing, and the player himself would be happy to accept a move to the Stadio Olimpico. But here's the thing: Tottenham are holding back and refusing to sanction a deal unless specific conditions are met. Let's put this in context. Dragusin arrived at Tottenham in January 2024 with high expectations, a young Romanian international with real potential. He came from Genoa where he'd been impressive, and the idea was to provide competition and depth in central defense. But it hasn't worked out the way anyone hoped. The Romanian has made it clear through his representatives that he wants regular football, and at 23, you can understand why. He's at a crucial stage of his career where sitting on the bench isn't going to help his development. So what's the actual situation with Roma? Initially, the talks were around a loan deal with an option or conditional obligation to buy at the end of the season. That's typically how January deals work when clubs are unsure. But according to this latest report from Corriere dello Sport, Tottenham have now changed their stance completely. The club is only willing to consider a permanent sale, and they've made it crystal clear to Roma that they need to put €20 million, that's £17.4 million on the table to land the centre-back. Tottenham are dragging their feet, refusing to budge from that valuation, and this is creating a standoff. Let me talk about Dragusin's current situation from a technical perspective. This season, he hasn't played much, and when he has featured, he's looked uncomfortable in Thomas' high-line system. Frank demands his centre-backs to be comfortable on the ball, aggressive in their positioning, and quick to recover when beaten. Dragusin has the physical tools. He's strong, decent in the air, and committed, but his pace and ability to play in a high defensive line have been questioned. In Serie A, which is more tactical and generally slower paced than the Premier League, he might actually thrive. For Roma, he makes sense. Gasperini wants him because he knows Serie A, he's young, and he represents good value if they can negotiate the fee down. From Tottenham perspective, Thomas clearly doesn't see him as part of his first-choice plans. We've got Van der Ven, Romero, and even Archie Gray has been used at centre-back ahead of Dragusin. That tells you everything about where he sits in the pecking order. The added value for Roma is obvious. They get a young defender with international experience who knows Italian football from his Genoa days. For Tottenham, it's about recouping as much of the investment as possible. We reportedly paid around £25 million for him a year ago, so asking for £17.4 million represents a significant loss, but it clears wages and opens up space in the squad. But here's the counter-argument, and it's a valid one. Some fans and pundits are saying Tottenham are making a mistake letting him go so quickly. He's only 23, he hasn't been given a proper run of games to settle, and we're selling at a loss after just 1 year. Is this smart business? Are we giving up on him too soon? There's also the question of whether £17.4 million is enough. In today's market, young centre-backs with potential go for much more. And if we sell Dragusin, do we have enough defensive depth for the rest of the season? These are legitimate concerns that the club needs to address. So, are you in favour of selling Radu Dragusin for £17.4 million, or do you think Tottenham should give him more time and reject Roma advances? Do you believe he deserves another chance, or is it better to cut our losses and move on? Tell me here in the comments because I'll be reading your opinion, my friend. See you in the next video.